Yo, what's up guys, my name is Severman, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I will walk you guys through the project file of my brand new song called Goodbye together with Butterworth. If the lighting in today's video is a bit inconsistent or so, apologies for that because my video light isn't really working the way it is supposed to be. I need to get a new light, so for this video I'm just using the window light. So I grabbed myself some orange juice. Let's check out the drop real quick. I hope I can actually play the project file because it's relatively big. And so yeah, today I'll walk you through all of the individual sounds and explain how we made the song. Let's go.
Goodbye, goodbye, but you're not gone. You're the echo that lingers on in every shadow, every hue. Goodbye, but I will.
What I really like about this song is the 30 seconds build up. You know, usually I just have your 8-bar build up, but in this track I made it 16 bars. I think it creates way more tension. And also it's just playing this one bass note in the build up. Yeah, I think it's a super emotional and catchy song. So let's have a look at the project file. What are we gonna start with? I will start with the break, and then if you wanna know how I did the drop, just keep watching. All right. So let's start at the top. I think here we have the bass. So this is just some basic saw bass. Just set up took the init preset, took the saw wave, added 4 voices, and then turned up the detune a bit, turned the retrig off to get that wide sound, and then I just added an EQ here, and on channel 7 there should be a filter. Yeah, here, you know, because that's way too aggressive. So just the warmth from that sound, we want that for the break. So that is the break bass. It's playing throughout the entire break and build up as well. So that's what I said in the build up. Then it's just playing this one note, the D sharp. That's the bass. Then we have a break pad. Yeah, sounds so beautiful. Those are the chords right here. And this is just a silent 1 pad as well. Same story here. Just took the init preset, which is a saw wave. And I think that's literally it. Like, it's literally just the init preset with some chorus on here. Just adjusted the ADSR a little bit to give it the right envelope. And all I did was I added a low pass filter with a modulation down here, so it has a little bit of movement. Like if you listen closely, it's doing this, like it's not constant, it's having this little bit of like filter modulation to it, just to make it a bit more interesting, almost analog sounding a little bit. So that's the break pads, sounding super emotional, super beautiful. And then I layered that with a break piano, sounds like that. Yeah, also sounding super beautiful. This is the Analog Lab V from Arturia. This is actually from the MIDI keyboard. When you buy the MIDI keyboard, you get the software for free. I don't really use the MIDI keyboard. Actually, I was planning on doing a giveaway for the MIDI keyboard. If you're interested, like, let me know if you guys want a giveaway for the MIDI keyboard, because I'm obviously not using it anymore. So let me know. Yeah, that's the piano. Let's check out the processing on here. Just a little bit of EQing, giving it a bit more body, a bit more upper bass, 120 hertz. And then I have this, where is it? This top piano, which you can hear in the instrumental, like not in the instrumental mix, but it's it's like a lead piano, which is panned to one side. Just add some really nice response to the vocal. Yeah, I call it the dreamy piano, or it's actually the dream piano from Flex. Yeah, it sounds like a dreamy piano, super cool. Sent that to channel 71. What do we have on here? Just some endless mites to give it that reverb, like a lot of room, because the more reverb a sound has, the further away it will appear in the mix. And I really wanted to give this deep atmosphere to this sound, to make it really sound far away, like you're in a super big church, or even in space. I don't like, technically in space there's no reverb, but I mean, you get the point, right? So then we have the pancake, which is doing the panning. Like now it's on this side, and then again it's also on this side, but in the second break it's playing in between as well, and then it's also playing on the left side, so that's just adding a bit more detail to the mix. Now listen closely. And it's coming from that side, from the left side. So then we have a low and high cut, and this little thing right here. So that's the top pianos. Together with the chord piano and the pad, we get this. Yeah, that sounds so good. Wow. Then we have an underwater plug, I called it. It sounds like that. It's also what you hear in the intro. There you hear it very, like it's very obvious in the intro, very audible there. Yeah, it's just playing those three notes here. C, A sharp, F, A sharp, repeating those. Yeah, it's just so calming. I really like this one. It's a Serum preset from Savage Sounds. And I think I threw a lot of reverb on here. Yeah, some EQing, some pancake, panning modulation as well to just add more detail to the mix. And then the reverb that I mentioned. So here you can see the wet is all the way up, and the dry, I pull it down. So it's also very far away in the mix, creating this super big space and far away type of sound. And then just some sausage fat nut to boost the volume. And then that is layered with this ambience sample. This one and two more. Yeah, those ambient samples are really setting the tone for the break. And then let me add back in the other sounds again. And this is really creating the ambience, the tone. And then we have the chords again with the lead piano. And with the bass for the body. Yeah, it's so good in my opinion. What else do we have? Some effect sounds. So this is some impact sounds for the transitions, right? Some ear candy. These guys. There's some more down here. And then let's check out the vocal. This is the vocal.
I packed the words we never said. Folded tight in my aching head.
So on the vocal, I have Soothy too. Just to get rid of some of the higher mid resonances. There were some frequencies in there that sounded a bit nasty. So this just cleans it up a little bit, makes it a bit, cleaner. And then also with this EQ, I drag down those higher mids or lower highs just a tiny bit to make them sound a bit softer on the ear. And then there's this P controller, which is sidechaining the delay. So I sent this vocal. You can see down here at the bottom, there's two send channels. So one is going into the vocal delay, and then into which one is it? 68. The 68 is for the vocoder. I will show you in a minute as well. Yeah, on the vocal delay, it's just the fruity delay 3. With the wet all the way up, I have the level set to 65%. So the higher the level, the longer the delay will keep playing. And then with ping pong, so it's going from left to right, also creates or gives the mix more detail, in my opinion, makes the delay more interesting. And then this balance is just for the sidechain, because when the vocal is playing, we want the delay to duck down a bit, because else everything gets a bit too muddy and chaotic in the mix. And then we have this vocoder layer as well, which is being triggered from this synth right here. It's playing the same chords that the pad and the piano are playing. And this is just a silent one in it saw.
I packed the words we
Sounds like that. It sounds a bit messy with the delay, but in the mix it makes sense. Yeah, this vocoder, it just adds more body to the vocal. I really like doing that, adding vocoders to vocals. I don't do it in every track, but I've done it in some in the past, and so I did it here. So how I made this work, I just added so I sent the vocal stem into another channel, and then the synth that is triggering the vocoder is also sent into the bus vocoder channel right here, and on here we have the vocodex, which is combining the synth with the vocal, and it turns it into one synthesized sound. And how it works here at the top, you need to select 1 and 2, which is the vocal and the synth, and this will it will combine them. And then here you can play around with the bandwidth, and then those buttons here, the band distribution, and this way you get a certain sound. Yeah, until I got this, I played around with those buttons. Well, let me turn off the delay, it's a bit distracting. Like you really hear how the sound changes when you adjust the buttons here. So I was just playing around here until I found a good sound. So that's the vocal, and there's some backing vocal stems as well. The whispers your name, and then here as well, the ad-libs. So that's what those sound like. So that's pretty much the first part of the break. So then I started adding some tops, just to add some groove and movement to the mix. And oh, there's what I forgot, this bird stem. Check this out. Like it's super quiet. Like you don't really hear it in the mix, but if I muted it, something would be missing in the mix. So this also just helped fill up the background of the track, and this is some type of stuff that it just helps add more detail. Like it gives your song more character and maybe even warmth to a degree. So super cool stuff. some birds background sounds. What else do we have? The effect sounds I already showed. And some more drums in the next 8 bars. Some more shakers. Some heads. Right, this just adds more groove to the mix.
goodbye, but you're not gone. You're the echo that lingers on in every shadow, every hue.
And here I'm obviously introducing the melody at the top. drop mellow with a low pass filter automation, some volume automation as well. Sidechain is turned off as well. And then we have this 1 bar stop thing. And this helps make the transition from break into the build up more interesting. It kind of helps separating the two sections from each other more. And something that I did in For a Lifetime as well, and in The Good Fight as well. So just adding like a 1 bar stop. You cut the sounds, and instead you add some sub drop bass effect sounds. This. Yeah, super cool stuff. So then in the build up, what else are we adding? We're adding some uplifters, snares. So that's everything together. So those create a lot of tension. And that's really needed in order to make the drop hit harder. So let's break those down. We got these uplifters. This one's more rhythmic. This one has some bass frequencies in it. This one's kind of like a crash, reverse crash loop. And then we have the snares. So I layered 3 different snares. We have 2 more rhythmic ones that create, this groove. And then this third one, which is the bigger one. This one really adds all the power and the pump. So that's the build-up elements. Yeah, then again we got the effect sounds with the downlifter here as well. And what I'm doing here is I'm fading out then some of the like the break ambient sounds, introducing the kick as well. What is it? I think it's the clap. Yeah, the drop claps. I have those in the build up as well to build even more tension, and then some more crash sounds, some ear candy, some fills as well. Really some small details just to help make the transitions really nice and smooth. The kick, I knew I had the kick in as well. This is the kick. So that's at a much lower volume than in the drop, because else it would be way too overpowering in the build-up. And then in the second half here, I took out the bass kick and it's only the top kick. Because you don't really want to have too much bass in your build-up. Then we also have the drop head being introduced in the build-up. I just looped up the first chord, I think it is, because the bassline is also just playing this one note, and that's being introduced with a low pass filter as well. At the same time, I'm reducing the volume here right before the drop. So the break pad is also being faded out with a basic volume automation, and then the the break bass, we just have some, I think, high pass filter automation. Okay, so in the first 8 bars we have the break bass, in the second 8 bars we have the drop mid bass. Also looped up this first bar of the drop and just add a lot of like automation here, and I also have this stereo mono automation. So what I did was the mid bass themselves are stereo, but here in the build up right before the drop they're going into like mono direction. So right before the drop, they're 100% centered, and then when the drop hits, they're back in stereo, creating even more impact when the drop hits. Okay, so let's check out the drop. let's do the leads first. I think that's probably what you guys are really interested in, seeing the individual lead layers. So that's the lead layers all together. So let's have a look what we did here. I'm gonna go through them one by one. This is some Nexus plug. That's the main layer. Oh no, he used the orchid drops, no! Some more plugs. The lap strings, and those are also the strings that you hear in the second break. So they're part of the drop leads. And this electric guitar from laps. This one is muted. Some more Spire plugs. A hyper lead from Spire. And another Madison Sadko type lead. So let's check out how we process them. So I did some individual channel routing. Yeah, so on the individual channels, there was just some EQing to shape them, make them sit right in the mix. Nothing crazy. There's nothing on here. Yeah, just some EQing to shape them really. On channel 5, there's a few more effects. It's the string. The string needs like the string sounds usually tend to need a bit more effects. By the way, I hope the lighting is still okay because, as I said, I'm just using the window light today. So just some sound goodizer. Let me turn them off. Yeah, it makes it sound way fatter. Some more EQing. This one makes it sound brighter. This one's taking out some of the resonance. A bit more width here, some OTT, and a little bit more EQing. And then on channel 6, that's the guitar. Some more EQing here. The vintage chords, this one is adding this vintage character to the guitar. And it's spreading it out as well. And then some more width. Because I really wanted to have the guitar on the sides since we already have the mono plug here. This one. Sitting in the center. And then on channel 7, we have only one EQ. Alright, so let's have a look at the bass channel. So we just got some low and high cut, right? Make sure there's no low rumble coming through here. This is generally sitting at 200, 190 hertz. Just applied a slight roll off to the highs here. And some OTT to glue them together, just 8%, very slightly. Some more EQing here. I felt like the leads needed a bit more top end, a bit more brightness. Took out the lower mids as well. Then we have some TDR Nova. If you don't know what this one is, that's a dynamic EQ. So what it does, it only EQs your sound once a certain frequency band reaches a certain threshold. So that's really, really cool because you're not gonna, it's only gonna work when it's needed, right? Long story short, this one will only apply the EQ when it's needed. And so here, I felt like this root note, it's like, what is it? 350 hertz. I wanted to bring it down. But when the notes, the synths are obviously playing different notes, right? You have your melody with a bunch of different notes. And some notes are also a bit shorter or so, right? And then sometimes a frequency is being triggered harder than during other moments. And so with this one, I was able to just bring it down when it was needed, right? Long story short. And then we have this distortion plugin by Matt Nash. It's very soft. It's not a very aggressive, or not at a very aggressive setting. It's very soft, just adds a bit more warmth to the sound. Fattens up the leads. A bit more width, and this is for automation. What I showed you in the Buildup P controller. I think this is for is it for the delay sidechain? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you can see here. Yeah, if you're wondering what I did here for the delay, because like if you don't know what this is a patcher, and the patcher allows you to put, I guess, infinite amounts of effects into one effect slot. And here I essentially created a send channel within the lead bus channel. So the way you need to think about this is like you have this route down here which goes from input directly to the output. So this is basically your dry sound, and then this is the other chain where you have, in that chain you have delay. This is also the similar to what I showed you with the vocal delay, the ping pong delay here. And then after the ping pong delay, I have this EQ, and this one makes sure that the delay doesn't have extreme highs, but also not any lows. And this one, it cleans up the delay. Usually your delay will sound cleaner when you only have it delay the mids and not the highs and the lows. And then this balance is for the sidechain. So again, when your sound, whatever you're putting the delay on, when your sound is playing, you want the delay to duck down a bit so that the dry signal has more space in the mix. And then just some sidechain. This is 60%, the Nicky Romero, this preset right here, the quick chain. So that's the lead bus channel. Then we have a ride pattern. Sounds like that. So that's just playing the melody, but at a constant pitch. So that just adds some extra highs. Just a little bit of OTT on here. And then we have this sub bass. This is the Flex Essential bass guitars, the flat wound edgy. I use this one a lot in my tracks because it sounds super fat and it has really nice upper harmonics. So on here, a lot of OTT, 64%, but this one is really to make sure that all the different notes are sort of leveled, because sometimes, especially when you use like an E bass guitar, sometimes the volume levels can drop a lot between different notes. So this really makes sure it's all at the same level. And then some EQing here to get rid of the unnecessary highs, because I really just wanted to use the lows because it's sub bass obviously, and we have a separate mid bass channel, which I'll show you in a minute. And then there's this patcher. Okay, so interestingly, now I remember, I mean, I did this track like a couple months ago already. I think November or so last year. Interesting here, the sidechain here isn't your typical sidechain way. The way I did it here was I set up a frequency splitter. And so here I have two bands, and the frequencies are, what are the frequencies? 85. Yes, it looks like I'm splitting the sub bass at 85 hertz. And this allows me to sidechain the sub area and the area above 85 hertz differently. And the reason why I did that here was because I wanted to make sure that obviously the kick and sub are very clean, not clashing. But I wanted to be able to give a bit more room to the upper harmonics of the bass guitar. So what I did, I have the sub frequencies. No, okay. Now I remember what I did. Let me play the kick as well. Then you see what I did. Now you can see when I play the kick, it's ducking down this low band right here. And this low band is perfectly invertedly basic sidechain to the kick drum, right? So here on the kick, I have this P controller, and this one is triggering the sidechain here. And this makes sure that the sidechain is practically perfect. Like, I mean, not perfect, but as clean as possible. So if you look at the Sub Ninja, you can really see the waveform. It looks pretty clean, not perfect, right, but pretty clean. And then this way, I was able to still let the upper harmonics of the E bass breathe, because they're not ducked down as aggressively as the sub bass. So the upper harmonics are only being sidechained this way right here. And okay, apparently I have 2 sidechains. I added a gross beat as well. Right, but usually you would sidechain it this way. You would just throw your regular sidechain. But now you can see there's more clashing here. So like, just check where my mouse is. You can really see how the waveform is messed up in that area here with the regular sidechain. So either you would have to put more aggressive sidechain here, but that would then again duck down the upper harmonics more, or do it the way I did it here. You split your sub bass if it has upper harmonics, and then you sidechain the sub bass very aggressively in the upper harmonics. You can let them breathe a bit more. Very long explanation for the sidechain, but hey, I mean, that's what we're here for, right? I mean, at least you're learning something, right? Because I guess not a lot of people do their sidechain this way. Then let's have a look at mid bass. So the mid bass is very simple. It's 2 layers. It's the super saw bass from Silent 1. And then it has a talkbox bass. So the super saw bass, we got rid of the lows because we have the E bass for the lows. I wrote off the highs as well, so it doesn't clash, like the highs don't clash really with like any of the other sounds, you know, like the leads and everything and the drums. And then this one is to really shape the sound. Just to give it more character, more tonality, or a bit of a different tone, bit of a different color, and then this OTT compresses it some more. And then here it took away the highs some more to make it a bit softer, a more low-mid focused. And then the rest here really is just for automation purposes, for the build-up that I already showed you guys. And this is the sidechain for the mid bass, for the super bass. And then the top box has a lot of effects. I did quite a lot of effects here. You know what? Let me walk you through them one by one. So the first one is this hyper chorus. Already adds a big effect. Then we have this vintage phaser, which is adding that top box sound. Then we have the effector on the Vox setting. Some distortion. And then the rest is just some EQing. And here also, again, you know, we got rid of the lows. Automation, filters, and the sidechain. So together with the sub bass, and also notice how we have these pitch glides to make the sub or the bass a bit more interesting. Just makes it more interesting. Then we have this drop piano. Where's the sound? So those are two pianos. This is a true pianos. This is the amber bright layer, and then this is the sapphire default one. And notice how actually the second layer is only playing these top notes, and the first layer is playing the full chords. And also notice what I did here is I added some variation. So usually you would just kind of play your chords like those, but if you look closely, you can see there's like notes that kind of fall out of the regular chords, if that makes sense, right? So this one's a bit higher than the other ones, this one's lower than the other ones, and these just add more detail to the chords. They add more harmony, I guess you can say. And then yeah, this one is kind of just doing the upper ones here, and then creates these extra harmonies, puts more emphasis on those. Oh, let me show you the processing as well. Low cut, get rid of the lows, a little bit of sound quantizer, some delay, and some more EQ shaping. And then this is probably for the side to sidechain the delay as well, and some sidechain, yeah, volume sidechain. Okay, then we have the drop pad as well. I use this one in a lot of my tracks for the chords. I just really like how it sounds. It sounds very rich in my opinion. So this one is playing the same notes as the piano, I think. Let me double check that. Yes, the same notes. And also, I didn't show you this variation here. You can really hear this in sort of in the middle of the drop. So it's like dun 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 dun. It creates some sort of harmony melody to the actual melody, because the actual melody in this part goes dun 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 dun, and then this one goes dun 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 dun. And let me show you with the melody. So the melody is going up and the chords are kind of going down. I hope you know what I mean. So that's the melodic sounds at the top. Now let me show you all of the drums as well. So we got quite a few layers. All right, let's break those down as well. So for the kick, I split it into the top and the bass kick. This is the top kick. And then this is the bass kick. When you do that, be very careful, because if you don't know what you're doing, you're probably just gonna mess up your kick. So if you don't know what you're doing, you're probably better off just sticking to a good sample. If you know what you're doing, give it a try. This way you can get a more unique sounding kick. Right, and you can also shape it more and make it more fit into your mix, because here, for example, this way I'm really able to change the pitch of the kick. And actually what I did was I added a pitch automation to the kick, and I would actually recommend doing this over a regular pitch change for your kick, because this way you can make it sound cleaner and you can be more precise with how you want the pitch to be. Because at the beginning, as you can see, I'm actually pitching it up by 2 semitones here. And then the tail part is pitched down by 1 semitone. So without the pitch automation, it sounds like that. And with it, like you probably, like if you listen on a phone, you're not even gonna hear the difference. But this just makes sure the kick glues better with the sub bass and everything. And then there's also a super tiny volume automation for the kick. As you can see, I'm boosting sort of this area right here, because if you take a look at the waveform, the kick is very loud here, but I wanted to increase this part of the kick. So that's like super tiny detailed stuff. But hey, if you want to get your mix to sound as good as possible, then I guess it's about these tiny things, right? So then we have some extra kick hits. That just adds more groove. And some rides, claps. And some crashes and downlifters. So those really add a lot of energy to the drop, a lot of impact. Yeah, and the fill sounds that I already showed you guys, I think. And then the drop ambience, I think I haven't shown those yet. So these add a lot of harmony and energy to the drop as well. those are very important to just fill up the background of your track as well. Because sometimes when you only have your leads, your chords, bass, and drums, then if you feel like it still sounds empty, then maybe try adding some of these ambience background sounds to really fill up your mix and to add more energy and harmony. And then we have one more ear candy reverse sweep sound. It's like some reverse white noise. So those are all the drop elements. The second drop is basically the same, right? The second break has pretty much the same elements as well. But what we did here was we have a low pass filter kick, which is essentially just the drop kick. It keeps the flow of the track up. And then the difference to the first break is also that the bass here is just playing this one note, creates more tension in my opinion, and just a nice variation and contrast to the first break. Because what you hear in like all other progressive house tracks, you kind of throughout the whole song you're just following the chord progression, which can get boring. So here I wanted to change it up and just have the track play on that one bass note. I think it works really well. And then I continued playing the melody with this string from the drop lead layers. And then I'm slowly fading this one out with a low pass filter automation and a light volume automation as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Then the next part is just what I added. I think it's just some new strings. The rest is practically the same, but I'm just playing different chords. Just longer, more extended chords. Yeah, some very emotional strings. It's probably from Labs as well. Yes. Just creating a lot of harmony. The piano, just different notes as well. Break pad from the first break, also different chords. Then back into the build up and the drop. Basically the same as the first half of the song. So I hope you guys enjoyed this walkthrough. Let's check out the drop again. If you want to listen to the full song, check out the first link in the description. Also, let me know what you guys want to see next on the channel. Maybe some production challenges, like make a song in 30 minutes or a remake. Let me know what you guys want to see, and let's check out the drop again. Bye bye.